Hey, what's up, everybody? Brotrio here, and well, Scotty has finally beaten Death Stranding. So, we're gonna get into his full-on, spoiler-full review talking about every nook and cranny of this game, because me and Aaron have no idea what the hell it even is.
Yeah.
So, 1, spoiler alert. 2, language alert. We might be saying some off-color things. It's a mature-rated game, so get used to it.
They say the F word a lot more than I do in this game. But
That's surprising.
the reason I just now beat Death Stranding like a month and a half late, because it came out and I played it for that first video we did, and I did not go back until like last week. I couldn't. Especially Pokemon had just come out, and say what you want about Pokemon, it's straightforward fun. Like, a lot of people don't like Pokemon, a lot of people don't like this one. Pokemon's straightforward fun. Death Stranding is fun for 10 minutes and then it interrupts you and makes it not fun. Every time. Every single time I'm having fun. I would get a little call from Die Hard Man, or I'd get a call from Dead Man, or Heart Man, or somebody, and I'm interrupted. All these Mega Man villains just trying to stop my fun. And most of the time it's just buzzing in your ear and you're still moving. That's not good enough. Man, just shut up. I know. They never stop telling you how great you are and that you're connecting the world with all your work. They never stop from the beginning of the game to the end. They give you the same fucking speech the entire time.
So the entire time they're just like, "Hey man, you're the best."
Sam, you're the best, man.
Wow.
You're doing the work out there. You're walking and
See, I thought they were just trying to like cheer you up to get started on your mission.
No, the whole time. It's the most chatty game I've ever played in my life. This is the chattiest Kojima game. And that's including Metal Gear Solid 4 with like 3 hours of cutscenes at the end or whatever. It's ridiculous how this game will not shut up. And it's stupid stuff too. M-rated game, right? I'm not a kid. I'm not playing Pokemon where they think they have to tell you everything every single step of the way. Pokemon, every Zelda, every tutorial I've ever played is better than this. The tutorial is like 12 hours long.
Ugh.
For the basics.
God.
That's not counting them retelling you everything they told you previously over and over again. Like,
what?
Coming out of the private room or whatever, sometimes it forces you into the private room where you can rest up and drink all your sponsored Monster Energy drinks, even though you paid $60 for this, you get sponsorship shit. So you drink all your Monster Energies, it gives you a stamina boost. Your stamina is replenished from sleeping, like normal games, but the Monster Energy gives you more stamina. Fine. Whatever. I'm coming out of the private room, and every time you come out when you don't have an order, you get a little ringtone from Die Hard, and he's like, "Hey Sam, be sure to check the delivery terminal and accept an order." I fucking know. I've been doing this for 20 hours. I know. I've been doing this for 35 hours. I know. From the first order to the last, maybe not every time, but consistently, they buzz in your ear and tell you to make sure to go to the delivery terminal and accept the order. Can't be any delivery terminal. It has to be that specific delivery terminal. And you're always right there when they tell you. But it's still like, you can't accept it from any other delivery terminal. If you want to accept an order, it has to be that specific one. No convenience at all. The same thing with the materials. The materials, your metals, your resins, all that, chiral crystals, everything that you use to build your stuff, it seems to be shared universally with the big cities, with the big delivery areas. But if you go to a smaller one, you have significantly less or no materials to work with. So if you want those, you have to pick them up from the overworld and bring them over there, or just go all the way back to one of the major knot cities. They call it knots because it's a strand game.
Oh, I thought you were...
Knot, like tying a knot.
I thought you were
it's
like
a strand.
saying
It's a
town.
strand game in the strand genre. Everything is fucking strands.
Yeah, I was with Daniel. I thought
you were trying to say like town in like a folksy way, like it's a knot city.
No, it's called like
N-O-T.
Central Knot City, Mountain Knot City, Lake Knot City.
Good.
Wow.
God, that's bad. That's awful.
There's a lot of cheesy writing in this, and I'm gonna get to that. First off, fuck Die Hard. Shut up. I know to check the delivery terminal. I know. I'm not an idiot. I know what I'm doing. I played a lot of games in my day, Buster Brown, and let me tell you, unless this is your first video game ever, you don't need that. Even if it is your first video game ever, it's excessive how much they tell you to check the delivery terminals. It's almost every time. And
so it's basically like a really annoying version of Hero, your energy is low.
watch that. It's like that. It's like it makes
every time you get hit.
It makes Navi look like it makes Fee look like the best companion you could ever hope for. Is what Die Hard Man does.
Ooh.
And you know, same with Die Hard Man and Fee. I like them as characters, but they ruined it with the excessive chatter. Like, I don't mean this in any disrespectful way toward the actors or anything like that, but just shut the fuck up. It's not their fault. They're reading lines, and it's the same recycled line over and over and over and over and over.
That makes it worse.
But they're reading their lines, and they did a bang up job. The performances across the board are fantastic. The worst one is probably Sam, but that's just because they wrote him to be Daryl from Walking Dead, basically, because it's Norman Reedus. Like, he didn't do a bad job. They just wrote him as the gruff everyman, like he is. And when you compare him to Mads Mikkelsen's character or Troy Baker's character, he just looks so boring in comparison. Again, not Reedus' fault. Just the writing. And they kind of made him stupid a little, too. Like, he's always surprised by everything, even if you've seen it 100 times. It's just weird. And let me touch on the writing for a second here. The writing overall is okay to good, but some of it is like Star Wars Episode 1 and 2 bad. Like, sometimes worse. Sometimes it's like just the most on-the-nose thing, like Die Hard Man. His name is Die Hard. He says this. His name, maybe not word for word, but he says, "My name is Die Hard Man because I'm hard to kill," basically. Alright, cool. Dead Man, he's the least on the nose. His name is Dead Man because he's a test tube baby. But it didn't go so well, so they had to replace like 70% of his organs with cadaver organs. So he's Dead Man. Because he's mostly dead and he doesn't feel connected to the living. And supposedly he doesn't even have his own beach because he's a fake human and doesn't have a soul or something like that. Oh, beaches, every human has their own individual beach, which is like purgatory, pretty much.
Oh.
It's on the way to the afterlife.
Wow. I thought you meant like an actual beach. I was like, does everybody own beachfront
Yeah,
property
I mean,
in this world?
No, it's a very existential like kind of game where like it doesn't necessarily explain everything, but it over explains the things that shouldn't be, and the story made a lot more sense than I thought it would by the end of it. But so you die, you go to this beach, and it seems like you just walk into the water into the afterlife when you're ready or something like that. But so everything's beaches, right? And here's the worst example of writing. The second worst example of writing in this game is like they make a cheeky little Super Mario reference, because it turns out Sam was kind of manipulated to go save this girl on the beach, and she could have basically saved herself at any time and didn't need him, but she wanted him to connect America through the Chiral network. And he was like, "Okay, so I'm just Mario and you're just Princess Peach. I just had to come save you," or something like that. It was fine. It was cheeky. It gave me a chuckle. It wasn't too bad. But then later on, when they made up, they have to go along the beach. Instead of her just taking him out, she has to take him to a certain spot because reasons I'll tell you later. Amelie, this is who the character is. They have to walk across the beach, and she's like, "More like Princess Beach, huh?"
Oh my god.
More like Princess Beach. Like, puns are the highest form of comedy, but they are also the lowest, and this was bottom of the barrel bullshit. Like, if anyone likes that pun, I'm gonna have to question your sanity at this point, because it was awful. And in context, it's not any better. It's so bad. The worst example of writing in this game.
That wasn't it?
No. The worst example... It would have been it had she only said this 1 or 2 times. The worst example was Fragile. It's not her. It's what she says, not the character. The character's not bad. None of them are. But if they said
is
it,
her name Fragile?
her name's Fragile.
Okay.
If they had said, it might be a code name. I don't know. Like
Fragile Man.
Like Dead Man's not his real name. That's like a code name.
Yeah.
So Fragile might be your code name, and it's the company she owns. It's called Fragile Express. Like, you know, because it's a package.
Yeah,
You know,
package
they treat your
delivery.
package with care, whatever. And so she goes, despite the name, I'm not that fragile, or something like that, toward the beginning. And I was like, okay, whatever. Says it again. I was like, stop. Says it again. I'm getting mad. And this is not all in a row, but throughout the whole game, I'm like, fuck. And then at one point in the game, this Higgs, Troy Baker's character, by the way, phenomenal. Over the top in the best way possible. But it's showing a flashback of why she hates Higgs and why everyone hates her and whatever. Higgs found an old nuke from before the Death Stranding, which is what they call the apocalypse. But so the apocalypse is starting is what the Death Stranding is. But they think it's already happened, but it hasn't really already happened yet. Anyway, Higgs gives her a nuke and makes her strip down to her underwear and puts a hood on her head so it won't mess with her face, and makes her run through.
What won't mess with her face?
The time fall. He makes her run through basically naked.
Ooh.
So it's either let the whole town get nuked, or she can teleport out of there, because that's her power, and she can teleport to a beach and then teleport to. It's like Nightcrawler.
Teleporting?
Yeah, she can teleport. Higgs can teleport. Everyone but Sam can teleport. Not really. It's just her and Higgs.
Wow.
But
okay.
But anyway, so it's like Nightcrawler. You know how he pops into one dimension for a second, then back into ours or whatever.
Yeah.
She does that with the afterlife, basically. She pops into beach and then pops wherever she needs to go.
Okay.
So instead of teleporting out of there, she was like, I guess I'll save this city and run through the rain. So her body got super old from the time rain.
So she's like got a 20-year-old face and like 80-year-old tits.
Yeah. I don't know. She was wearing clothes, so maybe not all of it got affected, but a lot of it did. I think it has to be special material.
So she just has like a wrinkly ass shoulder or something like that?
I don't know, because I think you have to wear special material to protect from the time. So it probably is all old. Everything is old except her face and her neck. And like it's that sucks.
That's better.
That's
Wow.
why she hates Higgs. Everyone hates her because a rumor got started that she was working with terrorists on purpose. No, Higgs betrayed her, but the public doesn't know that, doesn't want to hear that. So anyway, she's
so Higgs is bad.
Higgs is real bad. He's portrayed as the villain, but he's kind of third in command villain.
Okay.
But
Voss.
Higgs
like Voss.
Higgs just sounds like this. Like there's the general and then there's the guy under that. Like
No, he
was like
Higgs-
the good guy.
Higgs worked for Fragile, and then some stuff happened that I haven't got to yet, and he was offered godlike power, and he was like, hell yeah, so he betrayed him.
Okay.
And what Higgs' deal is, he's ushering in the apocalypse, basically. So he's going through. The apocalypse has started at the beginning of Death Stranding. It's not fully there yet.
Okay.
But Higgs is trying to bring it in early, basically. Because it's supposed to take like thousands of years, and Higgs just wants it done. So he's using all his mud ghost powers to do as much of that as he can. You've seen it. The BTs, they're mud ghosts. And so Higgs, over the top, fantastic performance from Troy Baker. Pretty good, really good villain. And he had a pretty decent fight at the end. He takes over the Extinction Entity, which is the big bad that's causing the apocalypse. It's basically just a giant monster, kind of like the Reapers from Mass Effect. Big monster that comes through every 100,000 million years, whatever, and ends all life on the planet except for like just enough to keep going.
Okay.
Because it doesn't really explain why, it just happens. And the Reapers don't explain why they do what they do either, so that's not like a big deal to me. But there's been 5 so far, and they say 5 have gone all throughout time, 5 major extinction events. I haven't checked I know there's been multiple. It's talking about like real world stuff here, like when the dinosaurs went extinct. That was one of the major extinction events. But according to this game, an extinction entity is what causes that. So you're just hopping along, delivering your packages, constantly being interrupted from having fun, and trying to stop the world from ending from these ghosts and all this stuff. And you fight this big god monster, the extinction entity, that he has Amelie trapped in that you're trying to save, and he's in the other side of it, like controlling him. You just shoot him until he gets out of the extinction entity and it has to go back where it came from. But then Higgs grabs Amelie and grabs you. No, yeah, he just grabs Amelie and takes her to the beach to start the process over again. So you have to get with Fragile to go to the beach, to her beach, to stop him again. So you get there, Amelie's up in a gooey spider web getting like drained or whatever, because she is the extinction entity.
Like what?
Amelie, the one you've been trying to save, is the extinction entity.
Like reincarnated or just straight up?
All of them are different entities. So she's the
Like,
she's the newest extinction.
Did it like
entity.
possess her, or
She knew the whole time.
Oh,
That's where the Mario Peach thing came in. Because she knew the whole time and she could have basically done whatever without Sam. But she wanted the chiral network connected because it's her responsibility to usher in the apocalypse, but she doesn't necessarily want to and was trying to help stop it.
okay.
So apparently it's just not an option
So she's
to just...
like not good at her job.
No. Apparently it's just not an option to just not do it. She has to do it, but she's trying to delay it as long as she can. And that's what she was using Sam for, what he got upset about. So you have after fighting that god monster, you have a fist fight with Higgs. And it was straight up Metal Gear Solid 4. Like, the end on the boat.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, how they heal each other with the nano machines or whatever, the shot. Straight up, they do that. There's the little Kyrobites that fly around, the little, like, water bear looking things. If you eat those, they restore your health in the game. And in the brawl, like, Higgs was trying to drown Sam or something like that, and Sam got up and all these little Kyrobites started flying around. They just started grabbing him out of the air and eating him or whatever.
Wow.
And now I didn't do this until like 2 a.m., so if some of the details are off, excuse me, but it was just straight up Metal Gear Solid 4 but gooey. But overall, pretty good boss fight. And then it was like, hey, you ain't done yet, son. That is not the final battle. And he kept saying it too. He was like, just a good old-fashioned boss fight, Sam, and like stuff like that.
Wow.
But he was so over the top, he pulled that kind of stuff off. But Fragile was like this serious character and saying that dumb crap, and that's why it didn't work for her. But so you beat him, and he's not the final boss. He didn't say that, but he should have. So I'm okay with the writing sometimes when it's Higgs, mainly because that character is just so over the top. He can pull off saying that stuff. But then it turns out Mads Mikkelsen was pulling the strings. His character, who just wants his little BB back, the bridge baby that Sam carries around, he wants him back. So you're teleporting to fight him throughout the game through these tornadoes that sweep you up and take you back to what seems to be World War I.
What?
Like time travel?
I thought so at first, but then they said it was a beach basically where warriors ended up that weren't that. It was kind of like the Casper, like unfinished business, ghost stuck kind of thing, but they were just stuck on a beach fighting a never-ending war, like a bad Valhalla.
Oh.
Oh.
So that's where you ended up to fight Matt Mikkelsen the first time. Second time was World War II, and third time was like Vietnam, I think. It didn't say that one. It explicitly said World War I and II, but then you're in a jungle, and I assumed that was Vietnam. And you fight him the third time, and then the third time you fight him is the last time. But then he shows back up story-wise, but you only fight him that last time. No, that was the last time you see him. Until the end. I'm trying to get it all straight, I'm sorry, but anyway, at the end, this was a good plot twist, I think. At the end, it turns out that the bridge baby he was after was Sam. Was Norman Reedus, because Norman Reedus was born as a bridge baby, but he didn't know that.
Oh.
Right. I thought they stayed babies.
They typically do. They're in service for a year and then they're incinerated.
Oh.
But so Mads Mikkelsen was the father of Norman Reedus as the bridge baby because his wife like fell ill or something, And so she was what's known as a still mother, which I think means the baby's stillborn too. So they had to surgery the baby out of her. They put it in the jar thing. And then you get the bridge baby that's not dead or alive, and that's why it can connect to the living and dead world, which is why they can detect the monsters. Because the monsters are ghosts, essentially.
Okay.
So,
Good guy.
yeah. So, Mads Mikkelsen was only trying to save his son and get his son back because he found out they weren't trying to revive Sam or whatever. They were trying to use him to basically for power to get the chiral network and everything up and going because he had a connection to the world of the dead. So they were never going to save Sam, which is what they promised they were going to do. And he was like, nope. Went to take back his baby, and he got killed for it.
Oh.
But at the same time, the bullet that went through him went through baby Sam because he took him out of the pod and tried to get him out of there. And they're like, what? Shoot him, and shot him. They accidentally shot baby Sam. So Sam's dead. And then he ends up on the beach with Amelie, who is the president old lady from the beginning Soul.
When he was the baby?
Yeah, when he was the baby. She brings the baby back to life, and that's what accidentally set off the Death Stranding.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So it really got everything going, really. Like, it opened the gates wider to between the living and dead or something like that, because she was like, oh shit, this baby's dead, I feel bad, and brought it back. And that's why he can come back to life all the time.
Oh, okay.
Because his gate to the living is already open or something weird like that. But so
Makes a little bit more sense than a lot of the other stuff you've said so far.
So the gates are open now, and the president lady decided to raise the baby as her own because it's alive now, and she was like, why not? And that's where Sam comes in, because she knew he still had some kind of connection with something. The president, her body was in the living world and her soul was in the dead world, and that the soul is Amelie. That's why she's ageless and pretty much can't leave the beach. It was a big conspiracy because no one had ever met her in person, and Sam only ever met her on the beach. So everyone figured out eventually, like, shit, she doesn't exist. That's another example of bad writing. Out of nowhere, they started calling bodies Ha and souls Ka. Why? I guess it's that in body and soul in another language, but it's like her body, her Ha, and her soul, her Ka. They explain it once, what it means, and then they just kept going with it and called it Ha and Ka for no reason, like halfway through the game.
So they said that one time, but they have to tell you all the tutorial stuff every time.
It's real dumb, and the ending makes you walk to different cutscenes for like a couple minutes at a time, and then you get another cutscene while the credits are rolling. So I thought it was the end, but then there's another chapter, and then you get the same credits all over again. But this time it's just black screen, normal credits.
Wow.
That's weird.
I mean, there might have been more expanded credits, but it gave all the cast again, and I stopped paying attention to it because what the
So
hell?
basically, Kojima really likes credits.
Oh, he loves them.
He does.
mean, in Metal Gear Solid 5, you had to sit through credits before every single mission, and it would spoil the boss at the end of the mission.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not good.
But back to Death Stranding.
Yeah, so one of the main problems besides the constant cancellation of fun was that there's just too much going on in this game. Sometimes it's an action game, sometimes it's a stealthy horror game, sometimes it's a delivery game. If they cut a couple of those game mechanics out and made it significantly shorter, it would be in talks for one of my games of the year. Not number one or anything, but it would have been up there. Because the core gameplay mechanics have fun potential. But I think if they stripped away the combat and made it like a package delivery weird ghost game, better. Maybe have the blood grenades and pea grenades where you can fight the ghosts off, but it would be better if it was that and no combat. Basically no combat, like a little here and there. But toward the end, damn it. Toward the end, you have to fight off all these monsters like giant gooey whales and squids and lions and the extinction entity itself. They could have left all that and it would have been fine, but I don't like how actiony it got. It either needed to be one or the other, because the action was a watered down Metal Gear Solid 5 basically, and I just didn't care for it. It was just like conflicting with the rest of the tone of the game that you just Like, 1 minute you're just a package delivery man, whatever. The next minute, you're motherfucking Solid Snake, straight up, running into this base and shooting these guys with rubber bullets, because killing them is not a good idea, because, as I said in the last one, killing causes the explosion shit.
Oh, yeah.
They explained that away, that's the dead coming to, like, eat the living or something like that. And that's why the void outs happen, which is what they call them. And, so yeah, if you like walking and having people constantly talk in your ear and managing inventory for like 40 hours, this is the game for you.
But, okay, so, before we started filming this, off camera, Scotty, you told me you were glad you played it.
I'm about to go over that.
Okay, good.
First, I want to go through
Because,
all
like, everything you said was bad.
Yeah.
First, I want to
You
go...
made this sound absolutely awful.
First, I want to go through the list of my pros and cons really quickly and not touch on much, because I think I've touched on most everything. I'm going to start with the pros. Has a cool, weird story about hope, fear, love, hate, death, the universe, extinction, existentialism. It all plays out really well, and I thoroughly enjoyed the story. That's the reason I kept going at a certain point, because at a certain point I was just going to be done, but then something cool happened story-wise, and I was like, okay, fine. So I went ahead and finished it. The monsters are scary and cool. The game is motherfucking gorgeous. It's beautiful. Well-crafted world. The gameplay itself functions well. Like, it's not glitchy, it's not dumb, it works how it should, I just don't like it. Does that make sense? It's like,
Yes.
It's like,
I think.
I don't know, like you played Sekiro earlier this year, but you didn't care for it. But,
True,
But
yeah.
it played like it was supposed to, you just didn't care for it.
Right.
It's like Sekiro, but delivering pizzas. I did literally deliver pizzas, that's why I said that. That was
Oh, God.
it was a 30-minute time limit, that was fun. I had...
Killed Aaron with that one.
It was a 30-minute time limit. That was fun. That's why I was like, that's the one side mission I'll do is the pizzas. I liked the licensed songs from like Low Roar and stuff like that. There were a lot, like they would always play at cool key moments, like when you're trekking down a mountainside and Die Hardman's not talking to you. You're just trekking down a mountainside and it's like snowy or raining or whatever, and this song just starts to play, and it's cool. It normally fit what you were doing very well, and I enjoyed the songs. Gameplay, as I said, it's good. I just don't care for it. Traversal can be really fun, but as I said, constantly stop to talk, and the online stuff is really cool. Like whatever you build or whatever other people build goes into other people's games.
That's awesome.
So
That is cool.
It saved my ass a lot, and I didn't pay it forward a whole lot, because to build the really useful stuff like the big bridges and the roads and stuff, you have to have the right materials. You can't just build it. You have to, and you can't carry all those materials because all that's cargo. So if it needs like 1,000 metals, you can't carry 1,000 metals all at once, typically, unless maybe you can in a truck or on the little hand cart or something like that. So you, theoretically, before you have the hand carts or the trucks or anything like that, you would have to walk back and forth 3 to 4 times to deliver all the materials needed for that.
That just makes it that much more special when someone does leave it there.
And I did not do it. I tried to build a couple, but I did not do it.
Is there any way to like thank the person, like the user that left it?
Yeah, you hit the touchpad thing and it delivers likes to them. That's it.
That's it.
What are do the likes do anything?
No.
Oh.
Like real life likes and real social media likes, they do nothing.
Oh.
I'm gonna really start in with the cons here. It's inconvenient on purpose. It's like Kojima noticed people playtesters were having fun, and he was like, nah, we can't have that, and decided to put something else in to stop it. Is almost what it seemed like. Like the fast travel is the definition of inconvenience I can think of, right? You have to be in one of your private rooms, which is only in the major cities. So, if you want to fast travel somewhere, you have to walk all the way the hell back to a major city that you've connected to the network, go into your private room, skip. This is how I did it after I watched the cutscenes. There's 4 cutscenes just to fast travel. So it's private room, skip, normal Rita's laying down, skip, normally Rita's sitting up, skip, potentially like 9 cutscenes if you drank all the monster energies on the table to increase your stamina, which I did because stamina is important. So like 9 cutscenes potentially, and but just baseline there's like 4, because then you hit the umbrella on the wall that Fragile gives you. That's how she teleports you, and then you have to skip the scene where she shows up, then skip another scene when you teleport back out with her. Then you have to leave the private room of wherever she teleported you, skip the elevator cutscene if you want to skip that one too.
How long does that take?
Coupled with loading screens?
Yeah.
3 minutes? If you skip everything?
Are you kidding me? 3 minutes?
I never timed it, but loading screens always feel longer to me than they really are, so it's hard to say.
How long would it have taken to walk there?
Like 20 minutes,
okay.
Depending.
Okay.
You can teleport across the whole country. Which, by the way, another big con, they take away the fast travel toward the end of the game. And where you just went and connected to on the West Coast, you have to walk your ass all the way back to the East Coast because you can't teleport anymore. And all the systems are down, so you can't fabricate a vehicle because the apocalypse is coming. You're on foot, walking across the entire U.S. of motherfucking A to save the world.
So you have to force.
You can't do ladders. You can't do the ropes. Any of the stuff you've gotten used to, which would have been fine if it was a short section. It would have been like Eventide Island from Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
But it was not a short section. It took me a good 35 minutes to get back to where I needed to go, with basically nothing happening.
Oh my god.
The songs would kick in, and that would alleviate my pain.
That's ridiculous.
But the whole time,
I would be so
there was
mad.
no cargo really. But the whole time, it's raining. The whole time you're having to avoid the BTs. There's no other enemies outside of that, but there's certain spots that are blacked out on the map, and if you walk in there, you don't even have the chance to avoid them. It just gets the ground gets all inky and gross, and there's a monster. So you have to watch where you're going constantly. And, there's vehicles and ladders where people have left them, but they seem a lot more rare this time, I think on purpose. So, like, occasionally I'll get a motorbike or whatever. Jesus.
How long did that take?
I want to say 35 minutes. It felt like 35 minutes. And that's 35 minutes. Hang on. Let me get a prop. 35 minutes. If you want to keep balance going without having to manage it, you hold these. 35 minutes holding down the triggers and working the controllers and buttons.
Wow.
Now
my hand hurts just talking about that.
Yeah, do that. Hold that and control the sticks and stuff. Is that fun? Is that comfortable? To constantly hold?
Not really.
It's terrible.
Why do you have to hold it?
That's how...
Oh, wait,
it's either that or you push him one at a time when he starts losing balance.
Oh, okay.
But you don't have any real cargo, but when you do get cargo, it gets real bad, because you get cargo about halfway through or something. About halfway through that sequence. It sucked. It really sucked. I was having a good time getting this weird story done. And like I said, when you're having a good time, he can't have that. Kojima can't have it be fun. So he made it bad. So, yeah. Product placement was also bad. I hated that. Monster Energy. It's stupid.
Is there any others?
AMC's Norma Reedus Motorcycle Show.
Oh, wow.
And I guess if you count the songs, because when the song starts playing, the name, the title, and the band, and the record company will pop up. That's fine.
That's pretty
and
standard,
unnoticeable and whatever. Too many menus, and Kojima just up his own ass with metaphors. Like,
I didn't see that.
okay, you remember the scene in The Mask where he's like, "We all wear masks, metaphorically speaking."
Yeah.
That's like 6 times for the same character? For Die Hard Man, because he wears the skull mask?
Oh, God.
Oh, wow.
It's basically that a lot, just for him. And at the end, he's like, "I want to live in a world where no one has to wear a mask, because he's the president now." Takes off his mask.
Is he ugly?
No, he's just a guy.
Really?
Yeah. He's just a guy. He just wore it. It never really said. And there's a lot of emails and a lot of interviews and a lot of data that I never went through because I just wanted to be done. But the reason I'm glad I played it is because with all its flaws, it is a one-of-a-kind experience. That's the main reason I'm glad I played it. Whether it's good or bad, I will never forget this game because nothing like this has ever existed and probably will ever exist again. The way it ended, I doubt there's even going to be a Death Stranding 2. And I hope there's not, because then I'm going to have to play it. But that's basically why I'm still glad I played it, because there's nothing else like this. There's nothing in the world like this except some sections are straight Metal Gear. But it's just a weird, gross, gooey, inconvenient little piece of art, and it's not fun, but it's kind of like... I'm trying to think of a good movie I never want. It's like Schindler's List. I'm never going to watch that movie again, because it is not comfortable for me to watch. I do not enjoy myself when I'm watching that, but it's just well made, and for what it tried to be, it succeeded, but definitely was just not my thing. 100% not my thing. If I had to rate it, being nice, I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
Just mostly because of story and stuff?
The story and the performances were my favorite part, and the general world and the general vibe a lot of the time was cool with the monsters and the
and everything plays like it should. It's just
everything plays exactly how it should, but I do not like it. It's not what I would consider a good game, because there's an argument a lot of people make, well, do games really have to be fun? I think games have to be fun. Yeah, like, there has to be a fun element to it. Like, the Telltale games are fun in their own way because the story is interesting. This was that, but way too long. If it was shorter, I'd like it considerably better. If it was shorter, I'd have given it like a 8.
for just a
What I think
40-hour like series.
It's like 40 hours of just garbage gameplay to me. Okay, I can't say garbage, but 40 hours of just no fun. Nothing about it was fun. And I don't want to harp on it too much, but like I said, they just interrupt your fun constantly when you are having it. And what I think would have made this game exponentially better if they had swapped world design with Pokemon Sword and Shield. Not the design of the world, but like Pokemon should have been 90% wild area, in my opinion.
Oh.
And then you go to the cities, and then it's linear in the cities, but mostly wild area. Death Stranding should have been 90% linear with one wild area to explore and deliver packages and do whatever you want. The rest should have been a beeline to the finish. So I think they should have had a wild area in Death Stranding to explore and have fun and traverse, where no one talks to you except the people you're delivering to, but you don't get buzzed at all the time. I think that would have made the game way better. That's just my take. This game is, I believe, the most divisive game in 2019. Maybe the most divisive game in the past 3 to 5 years. It's
wow.
Some people, like, some reviews gave it 10s. I can't imagine. Like, some legitimate reviewers gave it a 10. And some gave it, like, a 4.
Yeah.
I can't imagine giving this game over a 6 as it is. And 6 is being real nice. Like, I mean no disrespect to Hideo Kojima. I love that man. I love most everything he's ever done. But this is just, overall, cool, interesting world, but a bad game, in my opinion. I just did not like any of it, and that's about all I've got to say without repeating myself 100 times.
You're at 99 right now.
Yeah, I'll go for the 100. Not my thing. Not a good time. Not fun. It's
So you're turning into one of the NPCs now.
Yeah, you're the worst, Sam. No.
You said they repeat themselves a lot.
No, it's well made, but not my thing. Yeah, I just don't like it. I'll never play it again, and I hope that they never make a sequel. I really do, because it ended great. It ended with the BB on Sam's chest died, right? Now, I'm not done. The last mission. You remember the trailer song in that final trailer?
No.
Anyway, it's a good song to start playing. You're delivering BB to the incinerator to say one last goodbye because they saved him for you. Like, after you came back from everything, they were like, we wanted you to make the last delivery. We wanted you to make one last delivery and put... Because they knew, basically, he loved BB. He loved the bridge baby. He named it. You're not supposed to do that. It's technically equipment.
Oh, yeah.
So he named the baby Lou, and that was going to be his baby's name that died, apparently, in the backstory somewhere. So he basically adopted this little jar baby as his son, and then it died. And the whole time, like, you know, when you hit the touchpad, he's like, hello, I'm Sam, whatever. If you do that when you're transporting him, he's like, I'm so sorry, Lou, this is all my fault, and all this kind of stuff.
Oh.
Fucking heart-wrenching. And then you get there, and he decides to the incinerator place, and he decides to just go for it and bring him out of the jar and try to see what happens if he can bring him back. And Norma Reedus is just fucking bawling, trying to bring this baby back.
Is that when he's doing the holding it on?
That's
the
one
beach?
of them. Yeah. No, it's not on the beach.
Oh.
But he does that on the beach in one of the cutscenes. But he did it here too. He's like rubbing the feet and like turning him over, like spanking him, doing baby CPR, trying to bring him back, and he's just crying the whole time. And I was like, fuck, this is awful. And then he hugs it against me. He's like, I'm so sorry, Lou. And then it just starts coughing and starts crying because the baby came along. He brought it back.
Wow.
And then he takes off his cufflinks, which is basically like the chiral network connected to him, whatever, and puts those in the incinerator along with the baby's little crate, and takes the baby off on his own to live off the grid, basically, with Lou.
Oh.
And after the credits, it showed him pick up the picture that got all time-falled all over. It was only one spot that showed his wife. We still don't know what his wife looked like back in the day. But then Lou reached for the picture and grabbed it. He's like, oh, Lou, or something like that. So it ended kind of cheesy, but I was like, man, fuck, this was a happy ending for such a weird, dark game. Oh, and he started walking in the rain without his hood on, so I guess the time falls over? So I think he legitimately stopped the apocalypse. So I think the game's better without Death Stranding 2, and I hope they leave it here. Not only selfishly because I don't want to have to play another one, because I will. I'll put myself through this again, because I want to know what's going to happen. But also, I just think it's one of those things that's better without the sequel. I like it being just a standalone thing. And that's my final thing. Not what I would consider a great game, but I am really glad I pushed myself to get through it, because it ended up being a pretty rewarding story and ending.
Well, here we are, 40 minutes later.
Wow.
That was Scotty's unfiltered, spoiler-full thoughts on Death Stranding. So,
I'm going to try to find the most fun game that I can. That's the most video gamey game of all time. If you want to recommend me something in the comments, something simple, something cute, something fun that knows it's a video game and knows what it's here for, and doesn't try to tell me any kind of thing, and shuts up when it's done with the tutorial and just lets me play. Yeah, fuck. I need a break.
alright, well, like and subscribe and stay tuned for the next one.